So because I knew that, you know, we had strike one, you know, I could just see he kind of embarrassed easily. I can kind of see like he didn't like when I say certain stuff. So I was very aware that like when you tell him get this gum, like make sure you stay it real low. So here go me. I say, boo. I'm in his ear. I say, boo, get this gum because your breath stink. Hey boos, welcome back to my channel. Look, so today gonna be my experience with dating. I'm gonna give you a bit of a story time, but I'm gonna talk to y'all because I'm sure some of you guys are like me and we are in this dating type of field, and it's ghetto. It really, I don't like it. I do not recommend 0 out of 10 for real. Let's talk about it. Okay, so can we talk? First of all, in the comment section, if you are dating actively in the dating scene, put that in the comment section down below. I kind of want to see like where my crowd is at. Are y'all married and y'all got boyfriends and laid up? Because I'm very much so single, okay? And I just kind of want to know what y'all doing. So go ahead right now while you're watching this video. Tell me in the comment section, are you dating? Are you married? Are you single? What's your status? Is it complicated, sis? Or you don't even know at this moment? Put it in the comment section. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about what dating has been looking like for me right now. Listen, I ain't got the answers in this dating thing. This is so foreign for me. So I'm going to tell y'all how I screwed up a couple times, right? But let's get into it, y'all. Like this dating shit, excuse me, is so ghetto, right? Let me tell you why it's ghetto. First of all, you know, we are in a time now where to build connections with people, we're not really doing that face to face. People are really building connections online. A lot of times people spend time online. What that boy said, so you scrolling through the campus, I had to follow you. I was scrolling, no, I saw you strolling through the campus, I had to stop for you. I was scrolling on the gram, girl, I had to follow you. Something like that. One of my favorite verses, it's by Bryson Tiller. I'm sorry, I can't really get, I'm mumbling the words up, but a lot of people are spending their time online, right? Seeing girls online, sliding in the DMs, shooting side shots. I'm noticing that a lot of people aren't approaching, you know, people in person anymore. Like they're really just kind of like finding you on the gram and then just kind of trying to build a connection from there. So let me just kind of preface this and say this, that I am not a girl who is really open to online dating. That's just not me, right? And I know there may be some comments of people saying like, girl, I found my husband in 30 years online. That's great. Listen, that's fine because you are a girl who's open to that. I'm not a girl that's open to that. I just kind of feel that building a connection with somebody online is inorganic. That's just my opinion on it, right? So here I am, this single girl, right? I've been single for 1.5 years now, right? And this shit is just wild. Like, I've had so many connections with, not so many, the connections that I've had with men, right, within this 1.5 years, I've been taking L after L after L after L after L. Let me tell you, and then after so many L's though, you really be like, hold the fuck up. Like, I'm gonna tell you this, in the beginning when I became single, I knew immediately that I wanted a relationship, but I knew for a fact, like, let me just kind of hold off. Let me just kind of have fun with it a little bit. You know what I noticed? That I didn't really know how to have fun. I really didn't know how to date. And I'm noticing even now, 1.5 years later, a lot of women don't really know how to date. Like when we look at this dating thing, and I hate that we have platforms like Twitter that really try to tell people what dating is, right? Like when we look at dating, people think that the man just needs to take you out, spend all this money on you, right? And then you need to feel like a princess, and that's dating. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I just kind of feel like dating doesn't necessarily mean that the guy has to spend excessive money on you, right? I do believe that dating means that you are keeping your options open, but in the midst of that, you are very much so aware what you want in a person, okay? Because I see that some people, like, I'm keeping my options open, I'm letting any nigga or any person do anything for me. I disagree with that. When I started dating, I didn't really have a a set standard on like who I was going to talk to and what I was going to. I didn't have that. Truly, I was just like, okay, if the person is my age, you know, like, do they have to have everything, you know, like, do they have to have a college degree? Do they have to have no kids? And let me tell you something. I had noticed that I was attracting a lot of guys who had children. Do you know that in this dating age, like, a lot of guys got children, like, and I'm a girl, I have no kids, right? And I don't necessarily want a guy who has children. Like, that's just, I don't want to be a stepmommy. Although I very much so can be a very good stepmommy, I don't want to be a stepmommy. Right now, I want for me and whoever I date for this to be our first baby, you know, our first time parenting. I want this to be our first time getting married. Like, I just want the first with it. I don't necessarily want somebody who have kids, but I noticed that when I started dating, although I felt that way, you know, it was dudes coming to me, their kids was like 4, their kids like 5, their kids like 6. I'm like, all right. I had to realize I had to cap it though. Like, if men gonna come to you and they got kids, they gotta be above 5, meaning they gotta be 6 and above, right? Because I just noticed it was too much like a baby mama drama when these kids is 5 and under. I really noticed that and I ain't like it, right? Y'all, when I tell you I've been taking L's, I just been taking L's. So I started talking to this guy who, you know, was in the Army, and he was transitioning his way out of the Army. And he was talking a really good game, like, you know, like, I want a relationship, I want to settle down, I want all of this, right? But he was just very inconsistent. Like, he would say this stuff, but his actions was truly inconsistent. And I was like, I mean, like, what do you want? In my mind, like, when you want a person, you're going to pursue them. And guys, I really do stand by that. But like, when somebody likes you and they're interested in you, I feel like they're going to make it known. I feel like you're going to be able to tell that a person actually likes you and they're pursuing you. I think that right now, dating looks like everybody feels like they got options. Like, I got all these options out here. And I don't necessarily know if it's that. Maybe if you don't have a set criteria, then sure, you got options. For me, I got a set criteria, so to me, I ain't got too many options out here. Let me tell you what I want. A guy who is either my age or older than me. You have to be older than me. You have to have a college degree, okay? Even if you have post-secondary education, that's a plus, right? You cannot have no children, but you have to have your own everything. Own car, own place, own career. I mean, those are just the bare minimum, right? But it took me some time to figure that out, y'all. Like, I'm a year and a half being single, and I'm recently like, these are my prerequisites. And if anybody doesn't meet that, I can't tolerate it. You want me to tell you why I got to them prerequisites? Because I got to them prerequisites because I noticed that I was dating everybody who did not have that. And it came with a lot of BS with these people's. Girl, okay, story time. So I meet this guy and I decide to try out Facebook dating. Okay, side note, 0 out of 10, I do not recommend. I don't know, I just kind of feel like meeting a guy on Facebook, he got some bullshit, you know, and I don't spend time on Facebook. Like, Facebook is just one of them apps I'm just not on it. But I feel like people on Facebook, men, they got secret girlfriends or families. Like, that's just me. That's just kind of what I feel like. I feel like the guys on Facebook are not totally single. Like, they in a relationship with somebody, they may not know it, but, or they probably do know it. Like, I just kind of feel like Facebook offering a dating option, no good. Like, I just don't recommend it, okay? Because I've run into guys and it's always been some bullshit with them. I met this guy on Facebook and he was younger than me, but only a year younger than me. I'm like, okay, we could do that. Another reason why I don't trust Facebook dating, not even Facebook dating, online dating profiles, is people can lie. People will lie on their profile and then you learn the truth about them when you meet them, right? So, and I don't like that. That's a big red flag. I met this guy, guys. He was like a year younger than me. He said that he worked at the hospital. I'm like, okay, he worked at the hospital. Cool. Let's see what he do. He said that he had no children, right? So I'm like, okay. Said that he lived on his own. Cool. I speak to this damn guy. Living with his mom, got a baby that's 4, work at the hospital doing cleanup services, no car. Like, it was just like, what is this all about? Like, that is red flags to me, right? But then I noticed, like, okay, well, let's just see what it's about. I'm gonna tell you something. You also have to understand that, are you in a position while you're dating, do you want to help someone grow up? Do you want to help someone develop into who they trying to be and what they want? Do you like want to be on that path, or do you want somebody who already has it? That's important. I remember saying when I got single, I'm not in the space anymore of helping anyone develop, build, become who they want to do. I'm just not doing it. I've drained myself. I don't want that anymore. I'm not about to sit here and grind with you and help you develop yourself and get your, I'm not doing that anymore, right? I wanted someone who already had it, who already knew it. Okay, I said that, but here I go, meet this guy, and he's in a space of really just trying to like build himself up. You know, you don't have no car, no license, you live at home with your mom, you got a job, you got a baby, but you just trying to, and it was just like, dealing with a woman like me, right? It was like, this is so inspiring. I need you in my life. Like, I've been looking for a woman like this, and I'm just like, no. I don't want that. I don't like that. So this guy, another thing with this guy too was that, here's the thing. When you meet people online, I like to think that they show up as their representative, meaning, you know, who they are representing themselves to be, especially to meet you, who they think you may want and need, but they're not fully showing you who they are. And this is why I say meeting a person online is so inorganic, because if I meet you in person, I could probably immediately tell just based off the vibes, your mannerism, what I'm learning, what I'm seeing, if I want to give you my number. The internet, I'm not able to see that. So boom, you get my number. Now I see you in person. It's like, oh, you should have never fucking got my number. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just okay. So that particular guy, it was such a big regret. Like, I shouldn't have never gave that guy my number. Like, he should have never got my number. He should have never got where I lived at. Like, I should have never went any further with him. Like, he was just, ooh, girl, like, this guy had an attitude. This guy was insecure. This guy was very controlling. This guy was such a liar. Like, it was just a lot. And I don't know, I just kind of realized that as I was figuring out my single life and who I was and what I wanted, like, I was also just kind of, again, I'm an empathetic person, so I don't think that I'm above anyone. So it was just like, I know I have this and he may not have this, but maybe, you know, he'll get it, and you need to just be there and support wherever he is in his life. And it's like, why do I have to feel like that? Like, why do I have to, you know, tolerate things that I don't want? Like, hey, I got it out the mud, you need to too. Right? I also realized, and this is something that's really real, that women mature much faster than men. You hear this all throughout your life, but when you're in a dating scene, you single, right? Me, I'm a successful black woman. What does that mean, right? Like, I'm not saying I'm the richest, no, but I'm 28, I got it going on. Like, I have a college degree, I have a master's degree, I live alone, I have a career, I drive my own car, I pay my own bills, right? Like, that is success, okay? And I want you to understand, as a black woman, if you're doing all of that for yourself at my age, you are successful, okay? Like, sometimes we define success as just like a whole lot of money. No, like, it doesn't mean that. But you are in a different like level. Look at your peers around you. You know, some of your peers may not have all of that going on, you know. So I am successful. So unfortunately for me, I learned that I have to date up. You know, I cannot date someone, and I'm not saying guys my age don't have this, but the majority, they ain't got it, right? I learned that because of where I am in my life, I have to date someone that's older, that's mature, because more than likely it's going to guarantee me that they'll meet those things compared to the guys that's my age, right? Girl, I remember I'm sitting here thinking, because I'm really just trying to figure out what I want to share. Okay, so this guy, you remember I told you he was just very insecure, very controlling. I really just, in the beginning, I actually did like him though, because I saw that he really liked me and he was kind of cool and it was a new connection. But things were going very fast with this guy, like super fast. And I was like, why the fuck is things happening so fast? Like, I don't like it, you know, so fast to the point like this dude ready to tell me he loved me, and a part of me, I feel like, am I about to turn him that back? And we only been talking for like a month. Like, it was, that to me was like, no girl, like, chill out. It was just going too fast, right? Let me give you one story. So one time we had went out to okay, I'm coming back from the club one night and I'm like, I want to see you. So I go get him or whatever, pick him up. We go out to IHOP, we eat, right? I was a little tipsy, but you know, like when you leave in the club and the more time that you just have like downtime, your tipsiness kind of goes away a little bit. Like it's not there. So I really wasn't tipsy anymore. We went to IHOP and our server was a guy, okay? So the server comes to the table and he takes our order or whatever, and I'm always nice to the server, so he walks away. So me and the dude, you know, that I'm with, we sitting there talking and stuff. The server comes back and I think he drops off the drinks or something. I don't really know. And when he walked away, I got a whiff of his cologne. I didn't smell it the first time, but the second time I got a whiff of it and I was like, damn, he smells good. I said that, right? And the dude was like, what? And I was like, he smells good as shit. Like, did you smell that? And he was like, and I was like, he don't smell good. So I could tell he kind of shifted. I'm like, what the fuck happened? All in all, he got upset at me. He felt like because I had dealt with a woman, I don't know the appropriate things to say with men. And that was an inappropriate comment. I should have never said that another man smelled good. I'm like, so in my mind, I'm like, that's the rules. Like, I'm not supposed to compliment other men. Like, what? It was like, what? And I really sat there for a minute like, okay, so he doesn't like when I compliment other men. He feels like I'm being too nice. He feels like that's disrespectful. Okay, cool. Just be careful. The fact that I had to notice that I was sitting here like, girl, you gotta do this. And I'm like, like, no, that's too much. Okay, this was the kicker though. One time we was out, we had to go handle some business for him, right? And he was a smoker, he smoked weed. I didn't necessarily, and I had said, you know, like, I don't want anybody who smokes weed, right? Like, I just don't want that. That's another one that's hard to find. Okay, anywho, so the boy smoked weed, so he had smoked weed, and as we was leaving, you know, like when you smoke weed, your breath kind of stink, you know, and I don't think he ate anything. So we was out handling business, and where we was at, it was kind of like a small room, right? And it was like two or three people in the room. So I had said, okay, I need to give him like something to put in his mouth. So I look at my wallet and I'm like, before I say anything, let me make sure I got a piece of gum, piece of candy. So I look at my wallet and I'm like, oh good, I got to stick a gum in here. So because I knew that, you know, we had strike one, you know, I could just see he kind of embarrassed easily. I can kind of see like he didn't like when I say certain stuff. So I was very aware that like when you tell him get this gum, like make sure you say it real low. So here go me. I say, boo. I'm in his ear. I say, boo, get this gum because your breath stink. So that's how I say it in his ear, right? So he like, dang, for real? Out loud. He say, dang, for real? I wonder what it was. Well, shit, since he said that out loud, I was like, I don't know. That's what I said. That's my reaction, right? So I give him my wallet. He takes the gum. He put it in his mouth. Cool. As he chewing the gum, he says, I got a bone to pick with you. So I say, for real? He said, yeah. I said, what? He said, we'll talk about it. I said, okay. In my mind, I'm like, what do you mean he got a bone to pick with me? Like, so I'm thinking like, okay, what is it? What did I do? Like, what? I know it can't be because it's fucking gum shit. Like, I know it ain't that, but why he got a bone to pick with me? Girl, we get outside, you know, we walk in and he was like, yeah, I got a bone to pick with you. And I was like, oh yeah. I almost forgot. I was like, what's wrong? What happened? And he was like, you ain't have to tell me my breath stink. So I'm going with the joke. I was like, what you wanted me to say? He was like, I'm just saying, like, you ain't have to do that. You could have gave me the piece of gum. When I looked at him, I noticed that, oh, he's serious right now. So I stopped in the middle of the street. I was like, you serious? Like, are you like, I want to make sure, like, let me catch up. Are you serious? I'll be joking because I can't read you right now. He was like, no, I'm just saying though, like, next time you don't have to tell me my breath stink. You could have just got this gum. And I was like, are you really upset that I told you your breath stink? Yeah, it's not even about that. It's just, you know, when somebody breath stink, you don't have to tell them that. You just hand them a piece of gum. They already know what it is. Like, just tell them that. I said, you trying to tell me what I say out of my mouth now? Like, I said, your breath stink, take this gum. You're telling me I shouldn't have said your breath stink? Did you really get offended by that? Girl, it was just back and forth. Like, it was just back and forth. I noticed that we was in the middle of the parking lot going back and forth because I told him his breath stink, take a gum. And y'all, I really was like, babe, get this piece of gum because your breath stink. In his ear. In his ear. And you got upset? Girl, that was a lot in itself. I I knew then, like, yeah, it's not gonna go no further with that boy. Like, I had to cut him off. Like, I literally was like, hey, yeah, this ain't working out. It was other things that led up to, like, yeah, it's time to cut him off. But I think that was the tip of the iceberg for me. Like, he was very controlling. He was just very insecure. You know, it was just having his way. And I mean, he really just kind of like, I asked him, I said, if we got all of your exes together, what would they say your negative trait is? And I told him mine. Like, I have a general idea what my exes would say my negative trait is. This nigga was like, nothing. That was a red flag for me. You mean to tell me that they ain't nobody got nothing bad to say about you? Nah, it ain't me, it's them. Red flag. So he felt like I was looking for red flags, but on this dating thing, it's more so like, I'm not looking for red flags, but I'm not going to overlook them either. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was taking everything at face value. Everything I saw, I paid attention to a lot of things because I learned from my past attempts, like, you don't pay attention, you have to pay attention. So anywho, I had to end that. That didn't end well. I learned that men do not like rejection, and I'm learning that as I'm dating too. Like, I'm getting quicker to say, like, hey, you're not going to work for me, or hey, this isn't what I want, or hey, I'm moving forward. Men do not like rejection, immature men. And I'm noticing that the men that I was dating and entertaining, they were not mature. They were very immature, and I didn't like that. A lot of people had kept telling me, like, Nee, you need to date older. You need to date older. I'm like, girl, shit, I ain't dating. But that's me. My mentality is older. Like, I have a lot of wisdom. I am very mature for my age. It's too much for, you know, guys that's younger than me. The way that I live, the way I take care of my kids, the way I take care of my home, the way I cook, like the way I carry myself. I'm not an old lady. I'm young, don't get me wrong, but I am very mature, and there's men that's older than me that's actually looking for that. So I'm actually open to that now. But dating has showed me, like, you know, you have to really kind of see what it is you want in a person, and you cannot entertain anybody that does not have what those things are. Girl, that same guy ended up setting me up, girl. He sent another guy my way to kind of like talk to me. It was the craziest story, and I had no idea. I ended up just kind of like looking more into this guy and found their connections, and I'm like, niggas really be sending other men to play on women? Like, that was, girl, that's a whole nother story for another day. Like, this saga with this dude is just insane. Like, even to this day, I stopped talking to this dude like October of last year. To this day, this dude continues to call my phone, continues to send me random messages, continues to cyberbully me online. Like, till this day, he does not stop. So that's a whole nother issue that I'm taking up. Get what I'm saying? Like, when you meet people online, there are crazy people out here, guys, and you don't know. You can meet them online or in person, but you run the risk of really meeting some crazy ass people online because you just can't feel them out in person. So that's what I'm learning, and it's like, I can't do this online dating shit. Like, I gotta actually get out in the field. Like, online dating and people sliding my DMs and shooting they shot, I don't want it. I just don't want it. And I get that all the time, and I'll be like, no, I'm just not doing it. Okay, can I tell you the flip too? Like, and this is the part too where I'm just like, Natisha, you're taking L after L. Like, I am really tolerable, and I learned that at one point I was desperate for a relationship. I was desperate. Like, you know how you had them clear signs of men just being inconsistent? They call you when they want to call you, they text back when they want to text back, they send you sweet stuff that make you think like, oh, okay, they like me, then they go ghost, and it's like, where the hell you been? I noticed then that I was putting up with a lot of that. Like, alright, this dating shit is ghetto though, because when you dating somebody, you could text them and then they don't respond back to 5 hours later. You want to be like, nigga, where was you? And or like, hello, you ain't get my text. Like, you can't do that when you dating, right? And I had learned that, okay, this is why you need to date multiple people than just one. Advice for you, if you are out here single, right, don't focus your attention on just one guy. Don't focus all your attention. It's important for you to have multiple guys that you can focus your attention on. Now, in the midst of them, you're not gonna like them all, no, but I promise you, if you have 2 or 3 other guys that you're focusing on compared to that one, you're not gonna even pay attention to how long it took for him to text you back. It's not gonna really even matter, because you're talking to this guy who may want to pick you up and take you somewhere, and or you on the phone with with this guy, right? Even though you may have that one guy you want to talk to, but sometimes you got to pay attention to how that one guy really moving. What I'm learning while I'm dating is that if a person is really about you, they're going to show it. Period. That's just it. That's it. And we're adults now. Like, come on, we're adults, you know. So people got things going on, but if a guy want to make time for you, he gonna tell you his work schedule. These niggas think they fun, they think they slick too. They don't tell you what their work schedule look like. Like, oh, I get off at this time. Once I get off, you know, I go home, I do this, or I go do this. Dudes ain't doing that, right? Because especially dudes that's up to no good. I'm noticing that when you have dudes that's really intentional, you're gonna know like about their day. You're gonna know a little bit of insight about their life, right? Be careful too what you tell guys too soon. Like, I know that I'm learning too, like, I ain't really guarded and gated. I am, but I just can't just really be so open and honest to tell you what's happening in my life and my day to day. Like, oh, I'm getting my nails done, then I'm going to visit my mom, then I'm going to... No, because you got to see if you get those things back from somebody. Is somebody as open with you as that? You know, are they telling you what they have going on in their day? You know, what plans they got to do? Are they consistent in calling you, texting you? I'm learning this too. Like, these people want to text you all day. That's not happening with me. When you want to get to know somebody, you can't just text them all day. It's a false relationship. You got to pick up the phone and call them. You have to see them in person. You have to FaceTime them. Like, there has to be some face-to-face interaction, some real-time interaction, right? But this texting stuff, that's another red flag for me. If I meet a guy and, I mean, within the first, you know, initial contact, if he hasn't called me, it's like, yeah, no. You know, because that's what it looks like. When people are interested in you, they want to get you on the phone. You know, you get on the phone, you talk to somebody, you learn about them. They want to see you in person, you know. So I had a guy too that he wanted to see me in person, but all he wanted to do was just kind of come chill at his folks' house, or, you know, come chill at his house. It ain't going nowhere. If a dude want to do that with you, it ain't going nowhere. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that sometimes money be a little bit funny, right? But you got to be careful who you dealing with too. Do you want the niggas that got funny money, or do you want the niggas that has money and they have money to date? And that's the thing. I want to kind of talk about this. I just kind of feel like when you want to date, you have to be financially prepared for that too, because this is the time where you're going to want to do outings and you want to have money. I'm not saying you got to do them twice a week or every day of the week. No, but if you're dating someone, you know, I don't like that these guys be like, oh, my money funny, but I want love. This is not 1950. Like, it don't work that way. Like, we got to get out. We have to go out and do stuff. We ain't got to spend $150 every time we go out. But how are we going to get to know each other? Because it's really not about you coming up in my house. It's really not about you coming up in my house and we chilling. That it's just not about that. Or me coming to wherever you are. It's just not about that, right? What I've learned now is that I've taken a step back from dating, because it just becomes too much, and it doesn't feel good when you out here, you genuinely dating and guys is running game. I took a step back because it was like, you are attracting all the things you don't want, but that's because you are entertaining all the things you don't want. And you have to set a prerequisite, or, you know, like, you have to understand what are the requirements that you want from a guy, and those are only things you have to entertain. So you can't come to me and you tell me, oh, I'm 28. You can't tell me, oh, I'm 25. I'm not entertaining you, period. It's just not going to happen. You can't come to me and say like, oh, I got a kid. I'm not entertaining you. I don't want it, right? You can't come to me and say, no, I don't have a car yet. I'm not entertaining you, and I have the right to do that. I'm not looking down on nobody, but I have these things, right? You have to be older, you have to have a career, you have to have a college degree, you have to have your own home, you have to have your own car, and you have to have your own career. Did I say that? You cannot have no children. Like, that's just what it is for me. And guess what? There's men out there that meet this, but hey, girl, my man may be over and damn, I don't know where my man at, but he ain't here. So I have taken a step back from dating because I just kind of need to slow down. Like, I'm not, it's just kind of like, if it happens, it will happen. I just kind of feel like the guy that I'm going to meet, or the guy that I want, will happen organically. I don't have to actively be out here seeking him, or, you know, like, oh, you cute, okay, yeah, take my, I don't have to do all of that. Like, I just feel like for me, my connection with my person, I'm probably going to be doing something work related or business related or in the field related, and I just meet this person. Like, I do feel that way. Like, the person that I meet, they're more than likely it's going to be in person, but it's going to be at the time where I'm not even looking for their ass, truthfully, you know. Like, that's just kind of how that's what I see for myself. But I've just slowed back on it. Like, I've just focused more so on what I want and what I got going on and continuing to build my own empire. None of my dating stories have been successful, and that's because I've been just trying to learn how to date. Like, I've been trying to fill these guys out, but then also fill me out as a woman who's dating. And I've realized that, hey, you know, you still have your own growing to do, but you also have to see the worth in yourself too. Like, you just can't be settling for anything, you know. So once I really solidify my list, it's like, okay, so any guy that don't meet these, you cannot entertain him, because you're attracting the same type of people and you're wondering why. No, like, we're not going to do that. So I encourage you, if you are single, girl, figure out your prerequisites, right? Literally, and don't minimize yourself. If you are not in a space where you want to build a man, don't do it. You know, if you feel like you want a man to have money, do it. If you feel like you want a man, you don't mind being a stepmother, okay. But if you feel like you don't want to be that, you have to stick to that. And I promise you, you'll start attracting more of those people than the people that you don't want, you know. Like, and I do believe in that. So for me, I just kind of feel like once I stop entertaining all of these, the people that I want to entertain will find, you know, because I start to carry myself different. Conversations I'm not entertaining with you, you know, because I don't even want you to get the, I don't even want you to get the damn idea. Like, no, I just, So dating for me has been like on hold. I'm not intentionally out here just dating and looking. I'm not, because it's ghetto. Do not recommend. Then, oh my God, you know, you have to, this is a point too where you have to assess for people's sexuality. You know, I have to disclose to men that, hey, I've been with a woman before, and I've been with a woman for 5 years, and do you know men reject me too? Like, that's a part of my story that some men are not open to that. Some men do not feel comfortable being with a woman who's been with a woman, especially for that long of a time. And guess what? I respect it, because I know for me, I wouldn't feel comfortable being with a man who's been with a man. I get it. I totally get it. So you have to assess for stuff like that too. Like, what's your sexuality? Are you monogamous? You know, like, are you interested in anything? Have you had a sex change? Like, you really have to assess, what do you identify for? So dating is becoming more and more complicated. I've run into a guy before that has dealt with men, and he's interested and realized, like, nah, I like women, you know. And I had to say, yeah, I'm sorry. I've had to pass up on that, right? I thank God that he was honest, because he did not have to disclose that. But point is, like, you know, I've run into a lot of different things in this dating thing that's opening my eyes, like, whoa, right? You know, and this one guy taught me, like, you'd be surprised how many men has had sexual encounters with other men but do not disclose it. I'm like, this is a real thing, right? And I ain't judging nobody, but when you're dating, you have to assess for these things, guys. So, you know, don't let Twitter or Instagram fuel what your relationship goals should look like, what your relationship to look like. Just kind of figure out what you want for yourself, you know. And if you are dating, pay attention to what you're attracting, and pay attention to how you're entertaining these guys and what you putting up with and what you tolerate. And like, pay attention, because I see that, honestly, it looks like things have switched around. It looks like it's the women out here that really, really want love and really want a relationship, and these men out here like, you want me? Show me. It really, men get a little spicy. So I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about dating, what that looks like for me, and then kind of drop some gems. Again, tell me if you're dating down in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. I know that my time will come. I don't already send my prayer up to God, the type of man I want. God already knows I want to be blessed with a beautiful baby girl. God knows I want the baby. God knows I want the husband, the marriage, the home. God knows all of that. So the order already been sent up, okay? So it'll come. It really will come. But that's just me with it. I'm learning so much with dating, but I've took so many L's that I'm just not willing to do that anymore. And I had to realize, why am I taking all these L's? And I really figured it out. I'm like, you don't even have your prerequisites. You entertaining all these niggas that you don't even like. Like, we're not doing this, right? Just hoping that something gonna stick. No, we're not doing this. So So I hope that this was helpful for you. Leave in the comment section what your dating experience looking like, sis. Like, tell me, okay? I would love to know. Anywho, thank you for tuning in today, guys. I'm gonna see y'all on another day in another video. Bye.